Well, here it is, the start of day 3. Well, actually, it's not the start because it's now 10:30. I didn't get up till about 8:30. I waited for the sun to warm up the tent a bit. It's out in the wide open area, so it warms up pretty quick. Well, relatively speaking, there's a lot of condensation last night. So although the tent was okay, the fly was soaking wet, and that's all dry now. Got up, came over to the breakfast area here, had breakfast, went to the bathroom, put a little more wood on the fire because it's nice and warm and smoky. Lots of mosquitoes and black flies. I shouldn't say lots, there's a fair number, enough to be annoying, but the smoke helps to keep them away. And not sure what I'm going to do today. I was going to hike part ways to Robson, but I noticed just going up even little hills, I feel tired. I think a lot of exertion yesterday. Wasn't hungry last night, forced myself to eat pretty much. Breakfast, didn't really want any. Cut back in the oatmeal. I took the oatmeal package and cut it in half. 2 bags would have been just way too much this morning. Then I had my hot chocolate and Via mix. So Starbucks coffee and a hot chocolate. I found instead of the recommended 3/4, you really need about 1.5 cups to cut it enough. And it's not sweet once you get that coffee in there. It's okay, it's not the best thing going, but I figure I get my caffeine hit, get a little bit of energy out of the hot chocolate. Oh, I don't know where the hell that energy went to. Don't have it now. I'm just going to sit here for a while. I may lay on this little bench that I'm on by the fire and relax for, I don't know, it's 10:30 till 11:30, and then see how I feel. I will go for a short hike this afternoon, but probably not very long. But let me take you on a tour of this particular area. Behind me you can see the shack there. It's an emergency shack. The folks that were here in front of me talked to the ranger. He said it was okay to have a fire. So we have a fire going here, which is kind of nice. And this is food preparation area. Unlike some of the other food preparation areas along this trail, this one, as you can see, is just a tarp over 2 tables, which would be, I mean, it's adequate. And then up there is the route to Mum Basin. It's also up to food storage. And back to the fire area. You can see there's some tent sites through there. Back up into that direction are the outhouses. And if we keep panning around, oh, there, she's covered in cloud as usual. So that's Mount Robson. You can see whatever glacier it is there. And then as you go around, there's a wash basin area, gray water, and through there's another tent site. Yeah, I guess that's off to water there. There's a creek that runs all the way along here and goes down. I'm camped over in that area. Show you that later. Oh, it just says I'm down to finally 10% battery. So that battery lasted 2 days. Now, I think part of the reason why a battery would, one of these batteries lasts that long is because it's nice weather, it's warm. It gets down to, I don't know, 8 degrees or so at night, based on the tempi. But it's nice and warm during the day, so the battery life isn't affected negatively. But we're going to run this battery down and then switch over to another one. Alright, that's the start of day 3. There's the view of, I think that's rear guard. Everybody here's set off for the day already. I'm just going to wait. I added a couple of sticks to the fire, and I'm going to wait until those guys burn down before I do anything, but I'll rest up in the meantime. Well, I'm going to go back up to the bear lockers and store my, it was going to be my snack for my hike. I'm not going right now. I'm just going to go back to the tent and rest. Every time I start walking uphill a lot, I get a bit of low blood pressure, so I think I just need to rest a little bit more. See how that is. Here's the trail up to the bear cache. Which are right here. These are kind of unique. There's a turning thing in there. And then it all just opens up like that. Turn the handle to lock again. And then head back. Should be able to hear the sound of the rushing stream. I can feel it in my feet today, but they don't feel overly sore. Of course, I don't have a pack on either, so. Put the gaiters on first thing this morning, mainly because of bugs. And I tried some of that Icardin or Picardin or whatever it is, and just on that space, it actually seems to have worked. So that's good news. Now let's gather up my stuff here and head back to the tent, and we'll relax back there a little bit more. I got enough water to go for the afternoon, and if I need a snack, I can just go and grab one easily enough. Some paintbrush or fireweed or something in there. It's a family of, I don't know how many in that gigantic tent. I was looking at it and saying, well, I'm sure glad I don't have to lug that in. And found out they've also lugged in a bear canister for their food. Great idea, but it's a big one, so it adds a lot more weight. They have one small girl and son that's older. Yeah, I don't know how all the sleeping arrangements work, but that's fine. As we come through here towards my tent. So there's the tent. You see we're gathering flies already and other insects. Let's see, there's lots of tent pads here. There's one through there. You can see there's more all through here. There's a nice running stream over there for water. So it depends what you want for a tent pad. You can get out in the here. You can see there's one tent still over there, but for the most part everybody's gone that was here before. This one's kind of nice with the bench there. Let me snaffle that and bring it back to my campsite. Sitting out by the creek is kind of nice. You can see Berg Lake. Of course, Robson's got clouds on top. And if you look close, you can see that's the route off the Snowbird Pass there. Heads up that way and then up that way. You can kind of see a line along there. It does give you a nice view of the glacier that's over in there, but as I say, feeling tuckered, I'm just going to rest for a while, see how I feel later. I might do part of it. Oh, back in the tent now. I went for a short 4.25K little hike just to see how everything felt. My right foot feels a bit sore. I went ahead and tried loosening it, and that seemed to help, but then it got a bit sore again. So anyway, today's a recovery day. Tomorrow I'll just head out to Adolphus and do another short day, depending how I feel, anywhere from 4 or 5 to 8K. Relatively flat, so it won't be all that tough, and that'll hopefully have me recovering. I'm really thinking I'm going to have the ramen for dinner tonight. Somebody brought some and had it, and I instantly went, oh, that sounds really good. They mixed other stuff in with theirs, but my body may be craving the salt content of the ramen, I don't know. Anyway, I can have that, and then it's only 4 o'clock, so be a couple hours. Hopefully I'm hungry, and then with that I can have some of the jerky or some of the luncheon meat. There's lots of options there. Something interesting about this tent that I mentioned before is the front fly. If we look here, just trying to get everything in focus. Yeah, right along here, this mesh touches the fly. And speaking of flies, fly, it collects dead flies, because what happens at night is there will be condensation on the fly. This part touches it, and then the little flies get in there and drown, I guess. I did notice one drop this morning as well from where the water came through. I'm going to have to look and see if there's some way of fixing that, but at this point in time, it's the only time, and I've been in torrential rain and it's never dropped, so the only reason that I got a raindrop this time is it was relatively high humidity in the area, which there is, and it warms up a lot during the day and then cools way down at night. So of course the fly is super cool and everything condenses on it, and for the most part that's not a problem, but where it touches here, that's a problem, and I'm just not sure how to stretch that out more. Anyway, other than that, yeah, I'm just gonna relax here for a while. There'll be mosquito and bug free in here. Good time to be resting in the tent. It just started to rain. Pretty good. Should be able to hear that. Just doing some mosquito hunting inside. And it's cooling off a whole bunch too. There he is. No, haven't got him yet. Managed to get him. This is a bit unexpected. I didn't think we were going to get rain at all. It did cloud over, that's for sure. But I restaked the tent out, so there shouldn't be any problem at all with it. It was just as I say, the condensation problem there, but with rain that's not happening. And then what happens with rain is it gets on this part of the tent here because the fly is not big enough. So if it were a heavy downpour for a long time, I'd have to scrunch down more to get out of that area. And I'm just going to lay here till it stops. It's quarter to 5. Within the next hour or two, it'll hopefully stop and I'll go have dinner. If not, I'll go hungry. So the Garmin Indy shows 20% chance of rain. Well, this is what 20% sounds like, I guess. It's kind of bright in that direction. So here's the sunlight, so hopefully this is just a sun shower and won't be there for long. Oh, there you go. Now we'll see what happens in a few minutes. Well, it's certainly cooled off. Well, it's end of day 3. I'm in my tent at 8:30. It's a little earlier than I had planned to go to bed, seeing as I don't know, I think I had a nap this afternoon. Anyway, but if you listen, you can hear it's raining. So it's 8:30, it started about 5, and it's been raining on and off. And it was hard at the start, let up, had dinner, had the ramen for dinner. It was a good choice. And some beef jerky with it. And that was pretty much it. Cleaned up, did teeth and usual stuff. And then hung around for a while, and it's chilly and rainy, and even though we got a fire started at one point, it was raining enough that you didn't want to be by the fire anyway, so you wanted to be under some shelter. Anyway, went for a short hike today, like 4K or something, and I noticed my right foot was a bit sore. I changed the lacing on my boot to make it a little bit looser, and that seemed to help. Although the only way I'll really know is on a longer day. I plan to stay here in the tent until morning and/or it stops raining, and while the time away. Likely go for a short hike out to Adolphus tomorrow, but that'll only be an hour, a couple hours maybe, and see how all the body parts are feeling. And basically it's another recovery day, which is really what today was. Anyway, that's end of day 3.